am I still up to his neck?
Yes. Harcourt is up to his neck, and you are trying to peel him out the last bit. Make me athletics checks to try to pull him out, both of you, Bolas and Tashash.
Another natural 3.
We're gonna just continue doing this. I mean, can I shoulders?
Can you do, I'm sorry, you're breaking up real bad. You're saying, can I grab him by the shoulders?
Can I get up around his shoulders or like reach into the thing and grab his head and try to pull him out that way?
If you reach up in there and grab him by the head, you will be putting your hands right next to this stuff. You will have to touch the ichor to grab him higher than the waist. But if you want to grab him around the waist, you can.
Okay. Yeah.
So right now you've got just the split. You've already got a grip on him. All you've got time to do is pull. If you let go of him and reposition, you'll lose the opportunity to pull.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep pulling then.
Make me an athletics check.
With the strength check.
Athletics, if you've got a skill, if you've got proficiency in it, you can add that.
All right. Great. Athletics.
Are you still there?
It looks like he's dropped out.
What was that about? Yeah.
What was the number?
Dang it.
Jacob, what did you roll?
3.
Yeah.
Natural
3.
3.
Natural 3. That's right. I guess you have a 0 in strength. Tell you what, Sir Robert, can you roll for Tashash since he is...
Yeah, he's in and out, but I'll roll for him. I don't know what his modifiers are, but here's my roll.
Well...
A natural 20.
A natural 20.
Tashash
Congratulations,
Hey,
Tashash.
just stay away. Stay away.
That's right. Don't you dare open up the spigot on your internet nozzle. Yeah, you, with an almighty heave, Tashash digs his clawed feet into the ground and with one of them and puts the other one up against the stone altar wall and pushes, and Harcourt, you come with a squelching pop, come free, and Volas, Tashash, and Harcourt, you guys all go tumbling backwards into the dirt. That was Mela. Mela, make me a Constitution saving throw because you have just fully punched this thing.
Okay. Constitution. Here it comes. 12.
12. You punched this thing. Which fist did you punch it with? Well, I guess you punched it with both of them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Did you
Double punch.
Did you punch it twice with one hand or once with each?
Once with each.
Once with each. Okay. Both of your hands erupt in jagged black crystals, and you take 8 points of damage as you feel.
Those things
you feel
fly towards me as if they were missiles?
No, these black crystals go jabbing. You've got a residue of black ichor on your knuckles, and you feel the tendons and muscles in your hands shred and rip as these black crystals gouge down into your hands. Harcourt, you are now sorely...
Hey.
Oh, sorry. Do you have a bonus action that you wanted to do?
Bonus action? Yes.
Wait,
Flurry of blows.
Flurry of blows. Okay.
Why? It's dead, isn't it?
Because is there anything left?
What was sticking out has disappeared up into the body.
Oh. Okay. Well, then I won't take my flurry of blows. I will
Okay.
remove my key point that I spent.
Okay. Harcourt, you are tumbled backwards on the ground. Your neck is in a great deal of pain. You've got lacerations up and down your body from the bottom of your ribs all the way across your head. It looks like you've been basically dragged along, broken glass. You're just lacerated all over. What do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to give you one last parting gift. You take one more point of damage
Awesome.
from these shallow scrapes. What do you do?
Do I have tell me about Harcourt's state or awareness? Do I
He is
understand
in
what's
possession of his
happening?
faculties.
What'd you say?
He is in possession of his faculties mentally. His speed is halved, and you're at disadvantage to perform acrobatics checks.
Okay. Does it look like there's anything to do to kill the creature more, or Braxy, is he doing okay?
You are looking kind of up at an angle, and you can hear the sound of a Brexilor contending with this thing on the other side of the carcass, but you do not see what is happening on the other side. You're unaware.
Okay, then great. Harcourt is going to take a. I guess actually there's no real. A help action with. Can I help a Braxilor?
A Brexilor?
A Brexilor?
Help him do what?
I don't know, like wrestle or whatever he's doing.
I can't think of a way to tell you to be helpful off the top of my
I see.
head that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. I see what you're saying.
I hate to hamstring you or waste your action or something, but I can't think of a way to tell you to do that.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'm happy to take a minute and catch my breath. There seems to be no
Okay.
more bad guys around, right? Besides Braxilor and the crazy black ichor.
So there is another body that is about 10, 15 feet away, and you see that its tendrils are flailing out at you, but they can only seem to be able to reach about 5, 6 feet. And so it seems to be completely in vain, except for the part that another one of them seems to have crawled out of the chest and is crawling towards you guys slowly. But you could it's only moving like 5 feet per round.
Okay.
So you see a couple of these things slowly squelching towards you through the dirt.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit there for a minute and rest if there's any kind of resting that can happen and tell guys, hey, there's some crazy black worms coming at us.
Okay. Tashash, you have recently gone stumbling backwards, pulling Harcourt out by the ankles. You are now 10 feet away from the altar, and on the other side of this body, you see a Brexilor with one arm plunged deep into the carcass of this thing, and you can see these black jagged crystals erupting from its neck and top of its shoulders, coming up its arm.
Yikes. Is there anything like nearby that I could use to try to actually, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna continue to try to drag Harcourt, get him a little further away from things. And then, because this is the only piece of clothing I have, I'm going to take off my loincloth and use it to try and wipe the ichor off.
Nice. You do that. I guess we'll have a conversation about what that means anatomically at a later date.
Nope, don't need to do that.
Okay, Volas.
First thing that I do is I I feel a bit dizzy because I just got knocked back. Anyway, I jump up and proclaim, "I did it!"
Indeed you did, sir. Indeed you did.
And I'm
With your fists a whopping 3.5 feet held high in the air, what do you do?
Towering over Harcourt.
I guess what I do is I just wipe the sweat off my brow and say, "Okay, well, if you guys don't mind, personally, I think now would be a good time to take the restings so that we don't."
Die.
Yes.
Okay. With that, as you guys lay on the ground about 15 feet away, looking at each other, going, "That would be time for resting, so we do not die." Die. Yes, that is word. You see a Brexalor. A Brexalor sends a message to you, to Shosh, Thak, and says, and you feel this almighty sucking inwards of air and arcane energy. You see coming up out of the ground these large kind of black electric arcs of energy with like kind of a purple spiraling swirl around them and motes sparking off of it. There's all sorts of different types of energy that seem to be coming up in these tendrils that seem to be all lashing down and connecting, kind of like a reverse Tesla coil around a Brexalor and this thing. And you feel a chill in your bones as you all intuitively realize that you are standing very, very close to something really big that's about to happen.
Yeah, so Thak definitely is going to yell to the others. Everybody, get back! Something's happening and it's not going to be good! And if there's anybody around him who's still prone, Harcourt or Tashash are lying down.
Harcourt is sitting.
Harcourt.
Yeah, I think
I
Volas.
I got up and dragged him away.
Volas, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, well.
We'll see if you landed on your feet or on your butt. Oh, because you were already basically laying prone. Yeah, Volas is laying on the
a
ground.
distance away.
Well, he's only like 10, 15 feet
He's
away
only 10
because
feet away, right.
he had that thorn whip. So
Right.
we'll say he's 15 feet away, but he's laying on his back, and he's about 15 feet from you.
Okay, and Mela? Is Mela standing?
Mela is standing, yes.
Okay, so
Good, he didn't like knock me down in between rounds again.
as I yell, "Everybody get out of the way!" I run towards Volas, and I mean I'm regular size and he's small size, so I just kind of pick him up as I go.
Sure.
And I, take the dash action so that I'm like 50 feet away.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not going
about
to
right.
go my full 60, but I'm gonna run to like, the edge of whatever clearing and get us behind a tree or whatever. Me and Volas.
Okay, Mela, Harcourt, to
Can't go as
Shash.
far if I'm carrying him. If I'm carrying him, I probably only end up like 30 feet total or whatever anyway.
If you take that full dash action, you're going to be moving your speed and half your speed, right? Because if your speed is 30, you move 15 to get him, you grab him, you run 15 back, you take the dash action, you move another 30. So you're 45 feet away.
Okay.
Plus, he was already 15, so you're a good 60 feet away from the altar. Mela, Harcourt, Tashash, do you guys do anything other than run?
I'm gonna help Harcourt get away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got Harcourt in hand, and you begin running away.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hop up onto Shash's back like I'm accustomed to riding now, especially with my feet being all gouty.
That's right. Yeah. You've been eating the Little Debbie's, and you got the diabetes in the feet. All right. So you guys beat
My
feet away.
hand diabetes making me move a little slower, but
Just full disclosure, gout is actually crystals in your feet. That's why.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Okay, all right, there we go. Yeah, so as you guys run and move away, you turn and you see over your shoulders this sucking energy coming in, stops for a split second, and then you see and you see this black fire erupt upon the flame, and you see all of the flesh of this giant slug thing almost immediately gets incinerated, and what you see burning at the core of this fire is this incredibly hot blue flame in the center, and then black flames up around it, and you see this thing jabbing and spiking and stabbing out, and you see faces in the midst of all this roiling energy, and you see a Brexilor at the edge of the flame screaming, and you see his arm burning to a char, and eventually you see it burn completely off, and so he stumbles backwards with just a stump left where his shoulder is that was plunged deep into the carcass of this thing. And you see a final, all that flame compresses and collapses, and there on the surface of the altar you see nothing but smoke and tendrils, and you see a Brexilor lying on his back, kind of slowly writhing back and forth in pain. And with that, initiative is over. What do you do?
I run back to a Brexidor.
A Brexilor.
A Brexilor, and I'm going to see if he's conscious and try and make a medicine check to see if I can help him in any way.
Well, let's see if he's conscious.
I do not carry Volas with me. Volas can come on his own if he wants.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Give me just
can
a
I
second.
punch a Brexilor in the face?
You can do whatever you want when it's time. I spoke first. Medicine check.
A Brexilor is hurt really, really badly, but is still conscious.
Okay, so I want to I've got my backpack, I guess. Well, I don't know, I might have left it somewhere, but if there's anything I can think of, can I try and help him medically?
Yes, you can make a medicine check. It doesn't look like he's bleeding. You don't see any blood on him anywhere. But if you want to, if you've got any ability to use a spell, you could heal him magically.
My medicine check is a 21. I mean, I might not be I might not be able to do anything. But.
Yeah, with a medicine check of 21, you look at his body and you see that he is of a almost utterly arcane anatomy, but he has responded positively to healing spells in the past that you know of. So you know that you could heal him.
In that case, I'm gonna burn my very last spell slot and give him a healing word.
Okay, what does that give him?
It's gonna be a 6 hit points he gets.
All right.
Gets back. Hey, buddy! Great job with the monster. I've seen a lot of heroes in my day, and that was some really fine work. Mind telling me what's going on?
Burn the others now before they escape.
Everybody make me a perception check.
Bring the
Everybody
others
hears
now.
this audibly.
Oh, I see. Okay. Perception, you say?
14 for me.
Is this passive perception or regular?
This is an active perception check.
Okay.
22.
Under your skill.
10.
Not natural 20.
All right, Tashash, you see one of these things squelching down into a little kind of creek bed, and it's about to disappear out of sight. You guys recognize the rest of these black things that are in various states of emerging from the body cavities of these abominations that have fallen. So Tashash, you're the one who spots the one that's about to disappear.
Javelin. Or, I mean, assuming I can't, like, run up to it and stab it first.
It has a range of 6 feet. As you draw close to it, you see it shoot out a tendril at you. So when you are still 10 feet away, you realize that it has melee range to strike at you before you get to it.
Ruh-roh. Okay. Wait, so do I need to...
Unless you want to make a dexterity saving throw, getting right up on top of it, you would have to make a ranged attack on it or an arcane attack.
I'll use my javelin then.
Okay, you throw your javelin and you skewer it in place, and you see that it is now kind of pulling at it, and it seems to be beginning to peel itself off of the javelin. It seems to be beginning to separate around it, but for now, you've pinned it in place.
Okay.
Anybody else? What do you guys do to the rest that you see? I'm going to say between you guys made enough good checks. One of you scored really high, and you saw the one that was about to slip out of sight. These things are slow. They're very slow. Everybody else sees 4 or 5 more that are scattered around, that are squelching around. Some of them towards you, others are moving.
Harcourt's going to go for some.
Okay.
He does not like them very much at all.
Volas has something to do.
I actually rolled a 7. I got the total of 7. So do I perceive anything, or am I just...
Oh yeah. Once
That's
everybody
cool.
else points them out, you see them. You just didn't.
Okay.
You didn't notice all of them. Right now, you're being pointed in the direction of one by somebody else.
So that is, sorry, go on.
In that
Go on,
case,
Volas.
I would like to use Thorn Whip to just grabify them and yank them over here.
Get over
So,
here.
get over here.
What's the range on Thorn Whip?
And how many times can you cast it?
It's a cantrip,
Oh.
so that's pretty good. And it has a range of 60 feet.
Yikes.
I took a feat that lets me double spell range.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so you begin, and you're pulling these things closer to yourself.
So Thak is there, I look around, is there, this is like, there's woods around. So Thak wants to start gathering brush and flammable sticks and things.
Okay.
So Thak is like, I mean, I can make a survival check, I think would be traditional for this, but Thak is going to like literally just start a fire as close to the area where we are, like whatever brush I see or sticks or whatever, anything flammable, I'm going to go and get it and like bring it a little ways so that it's kind of safe to make a fire. Like I'm not going to set the forest on fire, but as the soonest I can start a fire, I do it.
Okay. Thak is starting a fire. Volas is using his thorn whip to whip these things and pull on them and pull them closer between Tashash skewering them with javelins and Harcourt throwing daggers down into them and pinning them to the ground, and Volas pulling the ones that are loose. You guys are able to safely keep your distance from these things and manage to keep pulling them back. Mela, make me a perception check while they're doing all of this.
Oh, hopefully better than my last one. 12.
Okay, that's enough. You just need a general passing check. You're able to kind of keep it. You're like, oh, this one's getting away, which is not too terribly hard because they're moving about as fast as turtles or tortoises, right? And so you, what's that?
Can move. Those guys can move.
Tortoises on a cold day.
You ever seen a tortoise in a luge?
Oh man, boy, do I have some tortoise stories, but they're not fit for current company. So you guys, Thak, you're able to. Volas, do you have any fire spells?
Stop for
I
a sec.
do.
Stop for a sec.
Beep, beep, beep.
Network error on Twitch.
switches this down.
Hold on just a second. All right, looks like everything's coming back up. Okay, we're good.
Okay. You guys manage to, Thak, you make a fire. Volas, you pull these things in with your thorn whip. Tashash, you skewer them. Harcourt, you skewer them. Mela, you manage to kind of keep an eye on everything and point out the ones that are beginning to get away first. And eventually,
Hey,
after
that
10...
one.
What's that?
Hey, that one.
Hey,
That
that
one.
one.
Over there.
Eventually, after several minutes, Thak is able to get a fire going pretty quickly, and you guys are able to pull these things into the flames. And as they do, they hiss and skitter and boil and bubble and crack and crumble and burn into ash and vaporize. And you see this ghastly, arcane steam kind of stuff coming up. That same kind of black flame that you saw, or that was around the blue flame that was burning over that mass on the center of the altar. You see more of that kind of black flame in the midst of the fire. And when all is said and done, you guys smell this gut-wrenching smell of putrid, burnt death. But they're all gone. In the meantime, Abrexalor has seemingly rallied and is kind of standing at the edge of the lake and has with his katana, he is slicing off the crystal shards that are sticking through on the inside and outside of his armor, and has taken out a little wakizashi and is kind of carving them off. And you see that he's managed to kind of fit most of his armor back on, and has
One-handed?
yes, it's slow going, but he is carving the stuff off and putting the stuff on.
Thak is. Does the fire still need tending? I mean, Thak is making the biggest fire he can for these things.
This is all trampled grass and dirt. There's no, and it's a wetland. There's not a lot of dry brush around. This is a pretty either mud or green grass. So you're not in any danger of brush
No, but
fire
I
spreading.
mean, do I need to? If I need to, I want Thak wants to talk to
Is there
Abrexador, but he's willing to continue to tend the fire if I think that it needs me to tend it to continue burning these things up.
If it needs more
No.
fuel.
No,
If it
it's
needs
burnt.
fuel, I'll gather me fuel. Okay.
I'm saying you guys have all done that. You've
So if
got
we're good on the
fuel.
fire, I'm
Yeah.
I'm at Abrexalor as soon as I think the fire has done its work, and I'm saying like, "Hey man, what's the deal? What's the story? Tell me all about everything. Where were you born? Like, what's your mission in life? And can I follow you and be your groupie forever?"
Where I go, you cannot follow.
Want to bet?
No.
So like, what are these things?
Spawn of undeath, children of the Dane.
I don't know if you know this, but like, there's a town really close by, and there's a lot of people there, and this stuff has been really affecting them in a way that I don't like very much, because they don't go to concerts as much when they're in like a crisis, and so like, what can we do to keep this from happening again?
Remove the taint at the root.
Yeah, like, where is that? I get it, but like, where?
At the root.
That's like very cryptic and stuff, but like,
He shakes his head at you.
and do you know who we can talk to find out where this taint is and where this root is and look what we have to burn?
Can Harcourt come over? Or are we done?
Yeah. Anybody who
Oh.
wants to be over there.
Harcourt
Oh,
comes
no.
over and pats
Can I-
Harcourt comes over and pats Abrexalor and says, Brexy, baby, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And he says to Thack, Thack, I think he means the root of the tree, the big giant trees, some kind of root.
Oh. Well, that makes sense. It's like not a metaphorical root, but like the actual root.
No, like a root, like how you make root beer.
Yeah, but I figured it was like a metaphorical root, like it was probably some necromancer or something.
Yeah, Braxy and I, we don't really talk like that. We're just really more, we go back and we're just kind of cut to the chase people.
Not poets then. I see.
Well, we have our own kind of poetry, right? And I
yes, the
elbow
poetry that
Abraxas.
does not use metaphor, where a root is nothing more than a root.
Great.
He's just kind of looking back and forth at the two of you and just kind of shakes his head slowly and turns and begins walking towards that portal where you see that orange light is still glowing in the middle.
Josh walks over and says, I have never heard a bugbear make poetry before.
Y'all want to go in that orange portal?
Yeah, I'm going.
What?
As you begin to follow after him, he, with disturbing eye blink, in the blink of an eye, he has spun around on his heels and has a sword right there. Well, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Who?
I'm not going near that.
That is going to be a 23.
All right. You
19 plus 4.
with a 23, you can see that he is pulling his punch. You can see that it's slowing down already before you can see it beginning to accelerate, and you know that you don't even have to jump out of the way. Do you step out of the way or do you stand your ground?
I stand my ground.
Okay. You see this blade come down on you, and it comes down right at your neck, and you can feel it kind of. Does Thack have, what's his facial hair situation like? Is he clean shaven?
He's clean shaven.
Okay, all right. So you can feel this blade against the stubble of your neck and not your skin.
Yes. You are a warrior of honor, as I am. You would not cut me in cold blood like this.
Not honor.
I step forward.
I think he shakes his head at you and sheaths his sword and says,
My work here is finished. Yours is not.
he says that all in a solid, I don't have infinite capacity to suck in air. And by the way, all this sound that you're hearing is clearly being made by the sound of air getting sucked into his face. None of it is exhale noise.
Thack says, yeah, the elf and the lizard guy, they're pretty interesting, and it's fun to hang out with them, and I feel for the plight of this town and everything, but, like, I want to see what your whole deal is, so I'm going to go over there. And I continue on. I'm going towards the cool, awesome, orange glowing portal. I want to see what's in there.
Okay. So as you walk towards...
Thack is an adventurous spirit.
You walk around this guy.
And Harcourt calls out, Hey, Thack, can I have your stuff?
So Thack, are you wearing your backpack right now?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay.
And
all right.
my guitar and my sword and the backpack and my leather armor and my whole kit.
Okay. So you just walk around him?
Yeah,
You
I'll
just
go
walk
around it.
What's that?
I mean, he was going towards this portal, and it's
Yeah.
where he came from, and it
Right.
looks totally awesome.
Yeah.
So, Thack is going to try and enter it.
Okay. So do you, as you go to walk around him, he just kind of stands there and his head swivels and follows you, and his feet haven't moved and his body hasn't moved, but his head is now almost 180 degrees back watching you walk past, and his head kind of snaps back and looks at all the rest of you, and he turns and he begins walking after you, Thack. Are you frozen, or are you just incredibly still, like Drax the Destroyer?
I'm
Who?
sorry, I dropped and I just came back. The last thing that I heard was that his head was swiveling around like a creepy owl. Can you
Okay.
start over from there?
Yeah, so his head has
Creepy
swiveled
owl.
around, following you as you walk around and past him towards this portal. And it whips back. He surveys all the rest of you, sees that none of the rest of you are walking towards the hellmouth. And he goes and he follows after you, Thak, and he's going at the same speed as you. Thak, as you get closer to this portal, you begin to feel extreme heat, and you smell the smell of something profoundly sulfurous and burning. You smell like burnt smells of every type. And eventually, you begin to smell this noxious gas. Make me a constitution saving throw as you begin to choke.
Let's see here. Constitution saving throw. That's going to be a 19.
Nice. You you turn your head away, take a deep breath, and begin, clamp your hand over your nose so that it's not just going up into your mucous membranes. You clamp your nose closed, you hold your breath, and you keep soldiering forwards. You
I pull up
also
my tunic over my face.
Okay, yeah. You begin to feel this strong blast of heat as you get within 30 feet. Make me another Constitution saving throw as you feel the backs of your hands and your begin to blister and sear, and your clothes begin to heat up.
23, natural 20.
Nice. You keep pressing forward, and you feel this of the your book bag begins going kind of haywire, and you're now pulling. You can feel it's like the object at the bottom of your book bag is resisting moving forwards,
case.
not actively, but it's just taking a lot of work to get closer. Every time you try to move it through the space, it's taking more and more work. Like if you stop for a sec, it's not repelling you backwards. But make me an athletics check to try to push forward.
Ouch. 2 plus 7 is going to be a 9.
All right, you feel stuck and arrested, and it's still burning. Make me another Constitution saving throw as you begin to feel the flesh on your face and your hands begin to burn.
20.
20.
17 plus 3.
You begin to sweat profusely, and the sweat begins just evaporating off your skin almost instantly. But make me another athletics check to try to push forward. You're not yet burning up with the heat of this.
And how close am I to this portal at this point?
You at this point are about 20 feet away. If you can make me another successful athletics check, you will be at the point where you can actually see down into this portal.
I would definitely want to take a look.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously. Natural 20.
Nice.
Plus 7 is 27.
Excellent. You lean forward, you press and drag. You're like leaned forward at a 45-degree angle, and you can see Thak. You can see steam coming off of him. You can see the edges of his jacket are beginning to smolder, and smoke is beginning to come off of some of the tassels on his jacket. And you see him lean forward, and you see him stare, and his jaw hangs open. Well, if you were seeing from the other way, everybody else behind, you just see Thak leaning forward, staring down into this. And Thak, you stare down into this portal for you don't know how long. You don't know if it's seconds or minutes. Part of you feels like it's like there's something that you see that as you lean back, you feel yourself kind of falling backwards through your own experience. You kind of see your own memory of yourself leaning forward, and you feel this kind of whiplash of something, and it's disorienting. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Your memories are legion, for they are many.
That's a 1. Plus 1 is 2.
You rolled a 1 on the wisdom
Rolled a
saving
1 on the
throw.
wisdom saving
dear.
throw.
Oh, buddy.
Dear.
Oh, buddy.
Oh.
You
I
just
have gazed into some that maybe I shouldn't have gazed.
You're switching
into.
religions.
you feel this whiplash of.
Oh dear.
It's hard to explain. I'll just say that on a profound level to the core of your being, you feel this shock, and you feel this hand on your back as you get dragged backwards. And Abrexalor is now standing with you just out of range of where the heat would be able to burn you. And you suddenly kind of come to your senses, and you can feel this incredible searing pain all over your face and the back of your hands where you were holding this thing up over your face. Your mouth, your nose and mouth are not burned, but your eyes are suddenly just bloodshot. And you make me a... This is the last one I'm going to make you make. Make me a Constitution check.
Regular a Constitution, just
Constitution saving throw. Sorry.
okay. (18 plus 3 is 21.
You blink your eyes. You close your eyes tight, and you feel the moisture kind of coming back into your eyes, and you quickly expel the kind of trace vapors that were down in your lungs, and you start coughing violently, and you feel a little bit of blood coughing up into your mouth. And the Brexalor looks at you and kind of nods his head in this way that kind of conveys like, okay, all right. And the Brexalor looks at you and says,
Not many have the fortitude to approach. Fewer to gaze into the abyss of law. Fewer still to hold their mind through the breaking. You will do well to guard these secrets cautiously. Thank you.
and Abrexalor hands you the dagger at his side and places it in your hand and walks forward, and you see him at the edge of the abyss just kind of keep stepping forward, and he kind of looks like he's stepping down a staircase. And then after a couple of steps, each of those steps looks like it's more, and he just kind of disappears into view. And you see this portal begin to kind of swirl and close. And you see now you're just standing at the edge of a shaft, and you feel the ground begin to rumble beneath you. Make me a survival check.
(11 plus 3, 14).
You're standing near a sinkhole, and it's you've got time. You don't know how much time.
I
That's
book
the
it.
worst amount of time to have.
I turn and flee back towards my friends and up towards stable ground as fast as I
23
can.
skidoo.
As Thak is sprinting, you can
I
see.
yell, "You got one of those vine whips for me, buddy? Vine whip, come on! I need a vine whip. Evac, quick!"
Out of the abyss. Go.
I mean,
Do it.
He's,
all right,
he's
fine.
yelling, "Give me the
I
vine
say,
whip, give me the vine
oh,
whip." As
sure.
you see,
Okay, fine.
And I, as I'm running, I stash the dagger. The dagger
Okay.
is safe. It is in the closest pouch to my heart that I
Okay.
can put it.
All
I'm
right.
not dropping it ever.
you as you're running from behind you, you see this sinkhole begin to expand. You guys see this sinkhole expanding close on his heels. Thak, make me an athletics check to try to outrun it.
With Vine Whip
Because you're
assist.
trying to run through mud. What's that?
He has Vine Whip assist.
Okay.
Is he gonna vine whip me?
Yeah, he said it's a cantrip, so if you're a willing party, presumably he can just You can just catch
So
it and
right
let it
now
pull
you're
you.
out in the middle of the lake, and you're about 120 feet away at
Okay.
the start. And so make me an athletics check to see how far you can get through this difficult terrain. Because right now you're running through mud that comes up to, up around the middle of your shin.
Okay. No, that's not going to work. Okay, well so it's an athletics check?
Yep.
No problem. Yeah, we're looking at a 6 plus 7 is going to be 13.
Okay. The progress of the crumbling abyss that is opening up behind Thack seems to be going at about the same speed as Thack. Make me another check.
But I got some distance, right?
Man, we need a green screen. No, you have no distance away from the event horizon of this sinkhole.
No, but I'm closer to
Yes.
to my friends who are gonna throw
You
me
are.
a rope or something, right?
Make me another successful check, and you'll be within range.
We're looking at 8 plus 7, so that's going to be a 16.
Okay,
If I'm
you are
not
still
mistaken.
good.
Wait, 15. 15. Sorry,
You're
8
still
plus
good.
7
At this
is not
point-
16.
You're within 60 feet. Volas, you see he's just within range. Does Volas say anything when he goes fishing for Thack?
Welcome back.
Yeah, you're now holding onto this vine whip. Make me 2 more checks to see whether or not you have to, or make me 1 more check to see if you have to take advantage of Volas holding on to you, or whether
All
this
right.
is a safety net.
Wow, that's same thing. 15.
Okay, all right. So as you're running, you've now got this. You reach out and you feel these vines wrap around your forearm, and you're running, and you've got this safety net underneath your arm. So you kind of you can hear this going on behind you, but you manage to make it the rest of the way, and you guys all see that the crumbling edge that has been emanating out following Thack has kind of arrested and seems to have come to its end. And you guys see what looks to be the opening to a series of tunnels, an entire kind of subterranean wormholed, pockmarked, Swiss cheesed,
More like
area.
ants than like humans would make, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But each of these tunnels, each of these holes seems to range in diameter for anywhere from 5 to 15 feet.
Okay, a little bit of meta right here. It's 10:08. Do we want to pick up at the revelation of these tunnels next time, or do you want to continue on a little more?
Nope, I think that is a great place for us to stop tonight with Thack. He's still steaming, and his face is blistered, his hands are blistered, and you see he's coughing and rubbing his eyes. His eyes are utterly and completely bloodshot, and he smells of noxious vapors and sulfur.
Again.
Again. We told you not to put the egg directly in the fire.
Great. So real quickly, Josh, we're not doing experience, right? We're doing milestone.
Yes, and you
Okay,
guys
just wanted to make sure.
Everybody who is level 4 has milestoned up. You're all level 5.
What about people who are level 6?
You get the
Been
deep
since the
satisfaction
beginning.
of knowing that you have participated in a job well done.
That's right. You've been watching a coming of age story, Mela, and it's making your heart feel warm.
That's right.
Cool.
Mela, you have these black crystals sticking out of your fists, and at this point, you make me a medicine and arcana check.
And Harcourt has him in his feet, right?
That's right.
Do I do anything?
I thought we were picking up next week.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and just put a pin in this. Let me button this up. That way, it's still fresh in my mind. I don't want to forget it. I promise this is for your good. Make me a Arcana and Medicine check. And anybody else who wants to help him with that can do so and give him help.
Okay.
got
I want to do
a
that because I have
1
them.
on the
I
Arcana
would also like to do
and
that because I
a
have +7 to my
8 on the Medicine.
Okay. Who's helping him?
I am.
Sure.
I am too.
And
Why not?
Volas comes over and begins consulting with you and gives you a second opinion. Reroll that Medicine and Arcana check.
that's medicine. Do another arcana. What's your arcana?
Okay,
One
I
second,
got
it's
a
+7, I
3
think.
on the Medicine. I mean, on the Arcana,
+6.
and a 23 on the Medicine.
Okay.
Volas got a 6 on the medicine and a 22 on the arcana.
Excellent. Volas, between you and Mela, you realize
Oh.
that these
Got a
crystals...
19 on the Arcana.
Nice. You realize that these crystals are now stable, and you go to try to hit it with try to cut it with a knife, and you see that it makes like not even a scratch on the crystal, and you can feel that it is wedged down into your bones in a pretty stable way. If you want to leave these crystals protruding from your knuckles, you will be able to increase the die type of damage of your knuckles by 1 die type. Or you can remove them.
Does the same go for Harcourt for the feet?
No, because Mela lightly punched it, and so
Got it.
he had a he had a very, very momentary contact with it, and so it is superficial. Harcourt, when you start to pull these shards out, it is incredibly painful, and it does even more damage to you. So you're going to need somebody to heal you as they pull these things out.
Fair enough.
So basically, we see Harcourt biting a stick as others are kind of pulling and breaking apart these crystals that are kind of grown into each other. What's that?
But he uses prestidigitation, so they taste like he's biting a sugar cane.
Nice. You feel a delicious sweet taste in your mouth as you squeal and wail in agony as they pull these things out of you and throw them aside.
I tell you guys,
Cure
being
wounds.
in that black ichor was like nothing. Well, no. I've only been in 2 worse places. Once I was in a human dungeon, and once I was in an orcish bakery. But I tell you, this is the worst of the worst. It's really bad in there.
Yeah, orcish. Yeah.
All they
We're
make
really
them
more
like
of meat and potatoes kind of people.
all they
I've
make them
never
like
been in an orcish bakery before.
Okay, well, I'm good. Mela, did you choose perm damage or not to be a knuckle freak?
Yeah, I think Mela's gonna not leave those in there. He'll take them out.
Okay. You also bite down on something as they peel these things out of you with pliers and tongs.
Tasty aspirin.
Do I need
What's
to
that?
use cure wounds on anybody?
Yes, please.
I can do that. Okay.
Let's do that offline. Let's let that happen during a sort of...
Okay.
Yeah, the scene fades on the party working on each other, wrenching out the black crystal shards and healing each other. And Tashash goes and makes a sweep of the perimeter, make sure that there are no more of these abominations kind of floating around. And sure enough, you guys have fully cleared the area, so you now have access to shelter and all of the remaining contents of the camp for you to plunder, which we will discuss next week for episode 10 of the Starfall Collective. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you with us. Thank you for joining us. Can't wait to see you next week at 7:30 p.m. Remember, failure is good too. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.